So meet the new Jeeps. Jeeps? Yes, they are. These are the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer. There's big news in the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. I'm so excited to tell you this. First of all, I'm not going to bury the lead here. I'm going to cut right to it. 150 miles of electric driving range with a gas-powered engine and a 500 total mile range in the top-of-the-line Jeep Grand Wagoneer. That is amazing. I think that's the thing I'm most excited about, but I'm also excited about this. The Grand Wagoneer is now all Jeep. Be sure to follow along on our socials. Subscribe to us here on YouTube and get our YouTube shorts. We'll break down all the information that we'll tell you about in this car in our shorts, and you'll find us on Instagram and Facebook as well. There is a link to our newsletter down below. We'll send you all the news every week, plus highlights from our YouTube channel. And then if you see a video pop up here, this is something we think you're going to like. If you're watching this, you're going to like that. So I know you're asking what is new for 2026 in the Grand Wagoneer. Well, beyond the thing that I'm most excited about, there is a lot to tell. So first of all, look at this. It is still big and boxy. It's a full-size 3-row SUV. Passenger space, legroom, and cargo space are not different. There is a standard wheelbase and a long wheelbase for probably about $3,000 more if you need that extra cargo space. That's something that we've loved in the Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer in the past. The new look on the front is all new. And I guess I'm redundant in saying the new look is new, but the new look is to really brand this as Jeep. But what else is new? Well, the Wagoneer as a gas-powered car is no longer a thing. It's either Grand Wagoneer or nothing in the full-size SUV. And that was by intention. The Wagoneer is now an electric 2-row SUV. It's large and it is capable and it's beautiful and it's all Jeep, but it's all electric. If you want the gas-powered one, well, the Grand Wagoneer is the way to go. The other thing that Jeep did that was really nice for 2026 is they simplified the trim lineup. So there is the entry-level Grand Wagoneer. It starts at $65,000. You can also choose the Upland version, which is more tuned for off-roading, suspension, all-terrain tires, tow hooks, those kinds of things, making it off-road ready. Then there is a limited edition. You can also upgrade to the limited reserve. And then there's the Summit edition, and you can upgrade to the Summit Reserve. All of them are powered by a V6 twin turbo that delivers 420 horsepower. It's the same engine that we've had in the Grand Wagoneer for a while, so that's nothing new. But it is nice to know that it's totally competent and delivers plenty of power. In fact, as much or more power than many of Jeep Grand Wagoneer's competitors. Jeep gave this what they call stadium lighting, and I want you to notice how this is something that we've seen in the Grand Wagoneer before, but it really is distinct now with this light bar all the way across the front, and it actually is right over these ice cube LED headlights, ice cube style LED headlights that you can see right there. They're very cool. They even gave it a nice little electronic signature here with these sort of lights down here, daytime running lights down here. And then you'll see like sensors and other things here in this grille. There's a really nice mesh grille down below that you need for air intake. But I'm going to say I just love this stadium lighting grille. It's a play on the Sarge grille, the classic Jeep 7-slot grille. And if you count them, there are 7 slots. But it gives the Jeep Grand Wagoneer a little bit of a distinct look. This one is the Upland edition. It is outfitted for off-roading, so it has recovery hooks there. They're very demure, very sublime. They're sort of that metal color tucked in underneath that front diffuser. It has fixed running board there for getting in, and you'll need that. And then it has these really large 22-inch wheels fitted with off-road or all-terrain tires for off-roading. But probably the biggest news is this guy, and let's talk about that. That is the 4xe. Now that name may change. They haven't decided exactly what they're going to call their plug-in hybrid, but this is what I want you to know. It has a plug, it has a gas engine, it is a plug-in electric hybrid, 150 miles of range, 500 miles when you add gas and electric together. That's unlike anything else on the road. And now I'm going to ask you to think about it, especially if you have kids. You get home, it's late, everybody's tired, everybody's hungry, and you didn't go to the gas station. And if you're driving one of these big 3-row SUVs that gets 20 miles to the gallon, really like 14, your car's on empty. This one, you plug it in your garage, and in the morning, you have 20, 30, 40 miles to get your errands done, get the kids to school or the bus stop or wherever they need to go, and give yourself all the time you need to get to the gas station. But better than that, you could actually do that on the second day or the third day or even the fourth day when your schedule is like that, and you just don't have time or interest really to stop and get gas. That is the beauty of driving a plug-in electric hybrid. This is the charge outlet, and this is a standard level 2. I'm not going to pull that. I can pull that off. But this is a standard level 3. This is the level 2 for charging at home, and then this is a level 3 for charging at a DC fast charger. And what Jeep is telling us about this is that every Grand Wagoneer plug-in hybrid will come with an adapter for Tesla charging. Tesla charging stations, if access to that is still to be worked out. They haven't completed that relationship yet with Tesla, but that is definitely on the table. But the NAC style charging is something that you're going to see even at non-Tesla chargers. And it's something that you're going to see in the next generation, so probably the 2027 model of the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. The space in the back of the Grand Wagoneer is phenomenal. So I want to show you this now. Everybody's been shooting video with this all day, so the power is not great, so I had to open it manually. But I want to show you, this is a lot of space for a 3-row SUV. In fact, allow me to measure. So I can tell you that you've got, from the back seat to the edge of the lip, you've got 23 inches, and then you've got even more. We've got 34 inches from the ceiling to the floor there. And then from here, I've got more than 48 inches. That's a lot of space. That is really a lot of space. We also have power buttons to lower the 3rd row. We have bag hooks here. We have outlets. Everything that you need in an SUV like this is great. I'm going to show you, though, what this is really like back here. This is me sitting against these reclined 3rd row seats, and my knees are not over the edge. So my feet are right here. And this is a ton of space for the rear of a 3-row SUV. Some of them are teeny tiny, 23 inches from here to here and 48 from here to here. That's a really good amount of space. I appreciate that. And that's something that hasn't changed. 3rd row access hasn't changed. I love the slide and tilt center row seats. Let's see if we can get those to work. One of the things that we love about the Grand Wagoneer is all this interior space. These are slide and tilt center row seats, meaning the seat will slide like this, and you can slide and tilt this forward with a child car seat installed, which is a fantastic thing. And I love that there are running boards, and there's a very low transmission tunnel here, meaning it's a flat floor to access the 3rd row. Now, let's talk about what really matters here, and that is child passenger car seat space. So this front seat is set for somebody who's actually pretty tall, and I have 32 inches between this seat and this seat. That means there's plenty of room for a rear-facing child passenger car seat on either side and still accommodate tall passengers in the front. If you go with the bench, then you also have a really nice wide space here. Can you fit 3 across? Absolutely. That is part of the point of this car, is to accommodate families with lots of gear, car seats, kids, dogs, the whole 9 yards in a 3-row SUV. I'm going to climb into the rear and show you just how easy that is to access, because that's all you have to do is just walk back here. It's very easy. There are a lot of really nice features for families and for passengers in this car. Let me show you what that looks like. 2nd row passengers will find a climate panel here. We have a household outlet here, something I love about Jeep. Jeep knows and has always known that you need to charge, and that's where you'll find that. There are dual USB-C ports, dual standard USB ports, and a 12-volt if you have something in your household that requires that kind of an outlet. There's a nice little cubby down here and dual cup holders here. And then we have our air vents here on the pillars. So right here and able to point at the passengers in the center row as needed. There are latches here in the center row outboard seats. Full set of latches there. And in the 3rd row, there is a full set of latches on the driver's side outboard seat, but not in the middle or on the passenger side. All 3 seats do have headrests, so the seat is safe for that passenger, and then you can lift it up if you need to move it out of the way for a child passenger car seat. And look at the headroom. I'm going to say the headroom and the legroom, I'll show you this too. Legroom behind this seat, and this seat is all the way back, but this is its natural position, and I still have tons of legroom right here behind the center row seat. I also love, I can just pop my phone right here. There are charge ports here. Air vents are right here. So I have the air, I have the place to put my phone or my drink. I can also put my phone there if I want to, and then I've got my phone right next to me. But I like that position quite a lot. If I need to use it as a cup holder, I can do that too. A really nice, one of the better outfitted 3rd rows in 3-row SUVs is right here in the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And look, I even get my own sunroof. which I can close, or I can open. In the rear seat of the Summit Edition, you will find even more luxe features. There is a center console here that is fit for being chauffeured. You can actually set your climate. Here, there are, if you don't do the center console, if you opt for something a little more, little less luxury, we still have the household outlet here, and we have USB ports there. There are air vents here, and we have video screens right here. We also have seats that either fold and tumble or slide for third row access. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is one of the things I love the most, are these slide and tilt center row seats. So you just push this button here and the seat slides forward and it tilts. You can still have a child passenger car seat installed here, perhaps even a rotating car seat, which means that even if you have a rear-facing child in this seat, you can potentially slide and tilt these seats forward far enough to gain access to the third row. Now you probably don't want the screen here, and it's probably not going to come quite that far forward, but probably something like that. And can I still get in? Well, let me remove my phone from my pocket and see what that looks like. And I don't have my running boards deployed, so it is a little harder to get in here, but I'm going to give it a try. Oh my goodness. Why, yes, I can. Okay, and I positioned the seat. It's not all the way forward. I positioned it about as far forward as it would be if there were a child passenger car seat installed. So it actually goes a little bit further forward. I didn't push it all the way forward for getting into the third row. And that's because I want you to see what it's like getting in and out of here with a child passenger car seat installed. The running boards didn't deploy because, like I said, this is a prototype. Not all systems are functional right now. But if I had the running boards, it would have been no problem to get into this car, into the third row, with a child passenger car seat installed in the center row seat. Chef's kiss, because that is such a great feature. Now I'm going to push it forward and make it a little bit easier for me to get out. It's still a long way down, but I can do it. On the inside, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer is everything that we loved in the Wagoneer to begin with. You can pop your phone right there if you want to. It'll hold nice and solid there. If you need to plug it in or you'd like to use the wireless charger, you're going to tap this little button right there. And this panel moves out of the way to provide a wireless phone charger as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB ports plus an HDMI port. You can close that if you would like to use that screen. And here, and the reason I want you to close it is this is where you're going to find your massage seats, rear climate control. This is where you can control all of the seats, driver and passenger, so you can really set the seats however you like. And this is where our climate control is. I'm going to turn all that off, and I'm going to turn my attention to this screen here. We have this large 12-inch screen here, a really large screen here. This is pretty much the same screen that we've had in the Grand Wagoneer, except that it's the clarity and the color and the graphics are much better. In fact, when Jeep started to add these new screens to their SUVs, they hired a team of something like 70 people from video and gaming shops to design all of these user graphics, and it's really quite stunning. I want to show you my very favorite feature in these cars right now. Let's see if I can find it. First of all, fam cam. So now I can turn that on and I can see whoever is in the third row here and the second row here, and I can actually change my views to get a close-up. If I want to get a close-up, I can change and get a close-up of the fam cam as well. I can also turn on the passenger screen, which you should be able to see right there. You can see it. I can't see it from the driver's seat, which is a pretty cool thing, meaning I'm not going to be distracted. See, I can't see it. I'm not going to be distracted by somebody sitting over there watching some really cool show. And then it has this. Hey Jeep, it's not turned on. I'm going to show you how to turn it on. Those are controls, but I'm going to go over here to settings, and then I'm going to scroll down here to this one, voice, and then I'm going to turn on my wake up word, and I'm going to call it Hey Jeep, and I have to signify that I agree the microphones are on. And now I can say Hey Jeep, and then the system will jump to attention. Now it didn't really do it this time because we're in a studio. You can see we are in a studio. And so not everything is functioning in this prototype in the studio, but I promise you, that's how you activate the system. And when you're out on the road, it's going to work. What else are we going to see here behind the wheel of the Jeep Grand Wagoneer? I want you to notice a couple of things here. First of all, this is our driver assist system. This is adaptive cruise control, and this is our follow distance adjustment there. You'll also see this is for towing. And then you'll see our entertainment controls are there. And then around the back, they did not get rid of these. Here is where you will find the volume and radio station selection on this side and on the other side of the steering wheel. With this really beautiful digital driver display here that you can customize. And then we have a head-up display, which is larger and it has a lot more graphics than the outgoing model. Among the other posh features is the digital rear view mirror. There are cup holders here, and they stowed the key here, but I would put the key right there because that's a natural space for it, or right there. It's a nice space for it. And then there's this, a cool box. So you could probably put 6 bottles of water in here, and you can turn it on or off, whatever you need, which is a really nice feature. And ooh, and it's cold. Like, I don't know if you could see that. Can you see my fingerprints on there? Like, this is cold. It's like really like an ice box. Okay, that is really cold. Consider me impressed. So I want to introduce you guys to somebody. This is Vince Galante from design of the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Vince, it is so great to see this car looking like this SUV, three-row SUV looking like this. And I want to tell you guys why I'm so excited to see this guy on this, because how many kids do you have, Vince?
I have 3 kids.
3 kids. And do you ever use the third row?
All the time. We used it this weekend, actually.
You did. And so you have a Grand Wagoneer in your driveway?
Yep.
The new one?
No, the one that's on the road today.
The one that's on the road today. How long until you get the new one?
As soon as it becomes available.
And tell me what colors you're going to get in your Grand Wagoneer.
So I'm going to get this behind us is a brand new color for this year. It's steel blue. So I'm sure I'm going to be getting the steel blue. My wife's been frequently asking me for a new blue for this car.
And what color are you going to get on your interior?
She's a light one. So we'll probably get the sea salt.
Sea salt, which is like a light gray.
Yeah, it's got kind of a dark gray top and a light gray bottom. So like she really loved that.
I like it. That is, I'm going to say that is the wish list. When you build your wish list for the Grand Wagoneer, build it in the steel blue with the sea salt interior. Yeah. That to me is like, that's the pin board. Yeah. Those are the colors I want on my pin board. So how long have you been working on this redesign?
A couple of years. Typically, it's kind of, you wouldn't think of it like once a vehicle's basically launching and it's starting to get into customers' hands, we're getting feedback and we're already starting to work on either the refresh or the next generation version. So usually a couple of years. What
kind of things did you hear from customers that impacted this new design?
So one thing was, I think we wanted to give it's got an all new face. So we wanted it to feel more high tech, more modern. I think in this segment of vehicle, people really like a kind of a big, imposing, kind of powerful front end. So with this one, we wanted to kind of amp that up over the current generation Grand Wagoneer. So we lifted the headlights up, we brought the hood forward. It's a pretty square, big, chunky front end now. The other thing, actually, there's a few things. Was color. We mentioned colors. So we're adding 4 new colors, and not just adding colors to add colors, but to lighten the palette overall. So we still have, white, silver, black, gray. Where we typically used to have like a dark blue and a dark red, now we're going to have a brighter blue. We've got a kind of a fiery red coming. We've got a color called Fathom that you've seen on the Wagoneer S, that's coming. So that was another piece, was just overall lightening the palette, providing more choices. And then I think the last thing was the naming. So people were really confused by the name. What's the long one? What's the short one? Which is the good one? Which is the entry-level one? What's a Series 2? What's a Series 3? So now
those were heritage names. I mean, to be fair, they came out of the history books.
Yep.
But they didn't really resonate.
They didn't resonate.
For how we buy cars now.
So we've completely revised and reimagined this one. So now they're all Jeep Grand Wagoneers. You can still get a short one. You can still get a long one, but they're all Grand Wagoneer. And then the trim names will be things that Limited, Summit, things like that. Things that are across our entire showroom. So I think we improved the looks. We provided more choices of colors. We made it easier to kind of understand which is the right one for you. So I think that's good stuff.
So let's talk about the interior, because the interior looks really familiar. Have there been a lot of changes on the interior?
A little bit of repackaging of some things on the interior, as far as like we tried to push the personalities of this vehicle. So what we have here with us today is an Upland, which is kind of the rugged off-road version, and then a Summit Reserve, which is of course like kind of the top of the line. So a little bit of repackaging of some of the things of the interior, but Kind of the main new things on the Summit over there is the dark ruby red interior, which I think is like super striking. And then we've got a new, the HUD is a larger, the actual HUD unit is larger, so it'll be easier to see. It actually projects further down the road when you're driving, so you don't have to.
Head-up display.
Heads-up display, yeah. So you won't have to look down quite as much to view it. You can just keep your eyes out in the distance. So.
Uh-huh. And let's talk about the overall look and feel, because the Grand Wagoneer and Wagoneer from which is the one you're driving,
Yeah.
Was very big and square. Is this one as square? Does it have more rounded proportions?
It is the same, basically from the windshield back. It's the same spacious, huge amount of cargo Wagoneer that the door.
The same interior legroom.
Everything, yeah, everything's the same.
Same interior passenger space.
Same cargo
interior
space.
Headroom. Same tri-pane sunroof, which I love. A great feature. So interior isn't changed that much. What is the big news then under the hood?
So there's a new powertrain we call the Reeve. So it's kind of using a combination of gas and electric. I think a really nice combination that...
We're going to call that plug-in hybrid, PHEV, which is kind of a standard term. Jeep does it a little bit differently, but it's the same effect.
Yeah, but
right?
I think it's, for some people, I think electric vehicles is a big transition. This powertrain actually is kind of a nice soft landing into that world. So you get a lot of the benefits of an electric vehicle. You get a lot of the benefits of a gas vehicle. So it's just a really nice blend that doesn't compromise the driving ability. It's actually super fast. The towing, none of those things. So
yeah, it is fast. It is fast.
Yeah.
The numbers on this thing are pretty stunning, actually. And Jeep is saying with the plug-in hybrid electric, 150 miles of range and over 500 miles total gas plus electric, which is pretty stunning. I mean, really, diesels and cars with really big gas tanks go that far, but this is a 20-gallon gas tank. So it's pretty stunning.
And 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, I think we said, right? So
yeah, I know.
Not so bad.
I don't pay attention to that. I don't want my teenage son to know what the 0 to 60 is. And you don't want your teenagers to know that either.
No, he just got his driving permit, so.
They'll try it out. They'll try it out. Changes to the Jeep Grand Wagoneer for 2026 are pretty incredible. A lot of things I'm very excited about. Nothing more, though, than 150 miles of all-electric driving range. That means you can go 2 days, 3 days, 4 days without ever plugging in the car. In fact, think about it. That's as much range as some of the very earliest EVs that didn't have any of the capacity for passengers and cargo and four-wheel drive that you get in this guy. This one is pretty exciting. If waiting till the spring of 2026 just isn't on your calendar, well, the gas-only version, V6 version, will be available starting in late 2025. You can get on the list to sign up for that right now. It does include all the changes and all the details that we saw here and all of the trim levels. So you have your choice. You can go with the gas-powered only, or you can wait for the plug-in hybrid version of the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. I'm going to tell you, I would wait because this one does everything you want and need, plus a lot more.